Module 14, the respiratory system. Stage 1 of cellular respiration, glycolysis. The first stage of aerobic cellular respiration is glycolysis. It occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell. Now, to get this stage going, it takes a little bit of energy. Kind of like when you want to start a fire, you get the kindling together, but it won't light until you use a match. The cell needs to expend a bit of energy to spark this reaction to begin. Step 1 of glycolysis is when this spark of energy is used to convert glucose into fructose diphosphate. Notice that it takes the energy in 2 ATP molecules to break up the glucose in the presence of some enzymes. Now look at the molecules involved. You can see the 6 carbon atoms within the glucose molecule on the left side, and those same 6 carbon atoms plus 2 phosphate groups, abbreviated by the letters Pi in that chemical formula. You see, organic chemistry is the chemistry of carbon compounds, often occurring in living things. So by keeping track of the carbons, it's much easier to see what's going on. So in step 1 of glycolysis, those phosphate groups on each end of the fructose diphosphate came from the 2 adenosine triphosphate molecules. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, became ADP, or adenosine diphosphate. When the ATP molecules broke off their phosphates, energy was released. Those 2 phosphates then used that energy to combine with the glucose molecule to form fructose diphosphate. The second step of glycolysis is to break the fructose diphosphate molecule in half. It results in 2 3-carbon molecules called phosphoglyceraldehyde, or PGAL. The third step of glycolysis is when phosphoglyceraldehyde reacts with phosphate and a molecule called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or NAD+ for short. This amazing molecule is made partly from niacin and vitamin B3. Can you see why you need vitamins for good health? NAD+ is a hydrogen acceptor because it attaches to hydrogen atoms from other molecules. Now, in this reaction, each PGAL picks up another phosphate on the other end of its carbon chain, resulting in 2 molecules of diphosphoglyceric acid, or DPGA. The NAD+ becomes NADH because it picked up a hydrogen atom that came from the PGAL. That's because in order to bind with another phosphate group, the carbon atom on the end of the molecule had to break its bond with a hydrogen atom, which I'm not showing here. This makes it free to bond with the phosphate. And the hydrogen moved to the hydrogen acceptor, NAD+. Thus, NAD+ is reduced to NADH. There's one more step to glycolysis. In this step, the 2 DPGA molecules release their phosphates to make pyruvate, which is a short 3-carbon molecular chain. Those phosphates, 2 from each of the DPGA molecules, attach to 4 ADP molecules to form 4 ATP molecules. So to sum up glycolysis, we can say that one 6-carbon glucose molecule broke up into 2 3-carbon pyruvate molecules. It took 2 ATPs to get this process started, but it resulted in 4 ATPs, which is a net increase of 2 ATPs. Additionally, in step 3 of glycolysis, 2 NADH molecules were made. They will appear again when we talk about one of the other stages of cellular respiration. Now, notice something about glycolysis. No oxygen is needed for it to occur. So glycolysis is an anaerobic step. Thus, if a cell is not able to receive enough oxygen, it can still undergo glycolysis to make a little bit of ATP energy from glucose.